Good morning and welcome back. Today I wanted to kind of break down this bed or planting area right here. This was one of the first areas I planted out and designed around, and I just wanted to outline some of the elements that I think worked well and some of the elements I think I would improve upon in the future. So first thing that I think worked was putting this piece of wood here to elevate the height of the bed and offer a differentiation between the walkway and the planting area. I think that in conjunction with planting stuff like garlic and whatever this is, if you guys know or have any idea what this is, please let me know. It's clearly something I planted. I just don't know what it is. iNaturalist isn't really helping me out here. I think it could be ramps or one of the lookalikes, but I mean, it's looking very leek-like with this stalk here, and it's very thick. So with that out of the way, but I think planting these alliums and onions and stuff along the edge here helped to keep the chickens out of this area, combined with the height, because they would have to step up and then try to break through this area instead of just walking straight through like they have been over here. So elevated bed plus garlic along the perimeter, I think that works well. I think sticks along the edge also works well and will serve a similar purpose as the garlic. As you can see right here, this area has had a little bit of chicken breakthrough, but not bad overall as far as chickens causing destruction goes. Some of the other stuff that I planted in here that I think is doing really well is this Saturn peach right here, which it's doing really well. I put that in 2 or 3 years ago, and we actually are gonna have some fruit this year, which is awesome. That'll be really cool. The first fruit from a tree I planted. So that's a nice milestone. Some of the other stuff in here that I think worked well is the elderberry. Elderberry has kind of exploded throughout here. I have 2 different cultivars. This is the this is the Adams variety of elderberry, and it's been a lot slower to take off than one of the other ones that I have here, but it's still doing very well. You can see it's been spreading underground here and popping up next to the rhubarb, which I might have to prune that, not a big deal. So elderberry helps shade out or provide some shelter to these alliums right on the edge, and you can see they're right under its drip edge along with the rhubarb, so that works well. One of the other things, I didn't plant this, but this horseradish has always been around this area, and that's another great pollinator attractant and just a good character for this area. It gets decent sunlight. You can see it's kind of competing with what looks like a goldenrod back there, but pretty good overall. Some of the other stuff I really like, peas was kind of my impromptu nitrogen fixer, but if I had to do it again, I would probably try to get a pea shrub in here, or a sea berry, or something that can kind of compete with this elderberry and peach canopy. You can see what I have in here instead of that, which I just put in this year. This is a type of currant. I don't remember what kind. Let's find that tag. White Imperial Currant. So I believe this one grows pretty small. And you can see it's kind of shaded down here. So I really think this is going to be more of a nursery situation for this. And if it gets big, then we might get some fruit. But for sure I'll be able to propagate this under here by stool mounding and potentially even layering in a couple of years. There's only one decent non-woody branch, so I'll probably leave that to be this year, and we'll check back in the fall and maybe pile up some compost around that base. The other really great character throughout here, which I did not plant and shows up in abundance, is this broadleaf dock, the Rumex genus. Super great for biomass production. These huge leaves shade out the soil nicely, and they grow back pretty fast. Not as fast as some other stuff, but I've never had a problem with it. Moving on to over here, you can see the cat chilling underneath this John's variety of elderberry, which, I mean, I put it in the same year as that Adams variety, and it's just blowing that one out of the water. It's probably 4 or 5 times the size. It's okay, close. It's probably 4 or 5 times the size. No, Clove, please don't come out through there. Oh, you know, the Cloves is gonna do what the Cloves does. She just saw the cat in there and got a little spooked. You know, we fear what we don't know, right? So, back to this elder, the John's variety, at least for my area in zone 5B6A, and you know, this really kind of heavy clay soil topped with compost is doing really well. See, I planted some other stuff in here. This geranium I don't think survived. You can see the crown right here. Nothing green on it. We'll let that be, but it's not looking promising. Maybe not a great place for that. So something to improve upon. What else we got in here? Oh yeah, I thought there was another currant. So this is a red currant, I believe. Oh, completely wrong. That is a gooseberry, a green gooseberry, which is going to be a similar situation as that white currant right over there. This will be more of a nursery planting where I can use this to propagate, and the shade will help encourage this to grow tall and put on a lot of biomass. So that'll work. And as you can see, this John variety of elder is just absolutely going off. Looks like we have a borer of some kind. Can I zoom on this? Yeah. Right at my thumb, that looks like evidence of a borer boring into this elder stalk, which seems to happen quite a bit. It does a decent job of thinning this out, actually. I remember this last year. It thinned out quite a few stalks, and I had to take down a couple as well. But it's just nature doing its thing, and it seems to be doing all right. I mean, look at the size of this bush. It's just stalks all over the place, leaves all over the place. And one thing I didn't realize until I planted elder, its leaves have a really interesting smell. It reminds me of a snack cracker that I had when I was a kid. I can't really remember the name of it, or even what it was. The smell is bringing back some memories there. Real interesting. Ooh, and we can see a little flower bud starting. So that'll be nice. Milkweed is in full force right now. And this is still the first week of June, so just as a little calendar note for where milkweed is at this time of year. Back here, you can see where Maple is inspecting. That is a black locust that I got from Stark, and I'm hoping that that will be able to get taller than this elderberry and provide a canopy layer to this guild. We'll see if I have to thin this back substantially or not. I might just pull a couple of branches aside to make sure that this can get some good afternoon sun, because it does seem like it's struggling at least a little bit But yeah, if you guys know about how black locust performs in a shaded setting, please share that in the comments. That right there looks like it could be a Myoga ginger that I got from Edible Acres. I'm not sure. It's looking quite elderberry like, but I remember those looked pretty similar leaf wise. I have a more mature one out there, which we can take a look at in a little bit. It gets way more sun, so I wouldn't be surprised if that is a Myoga, and it's just being suppressed by the shade here, which is perfectly viable. But that brings us to another piece that I would probably try to fix in this bed, which is going to be, again, adding a differentiation in height to this area right here to kind of connect around to the front where I had that horizontal piece of wood. It seems like having the chickens have to step into a space that I don't want them is a layer of deterrent. And I think layering 2 or 3 deterrents on top of each other makes a noticeable difference in the amount of chicken pressure that an area deals with. You can see it looks like a yellow jacket flying around in there. Oh yeah. Is that it for this area? I think so. Oh wow, that black locust actually has some flowers on it. I did not see those before. Very cool. Yeah. All right, so it can't be doing that badly. Cat just chilling, having a good time. She was just rolling in the catnip, so she's probably having a real good time. But yeah, those are just some of the elements I think that made this bed more successful than some of my others. Because as you can see, in comparison, just right next to each other, we have this area, super dense and lush, and then we have this area that Clover's digging in, which is pretty barren. And this is a good contrast of the different deterrents that I tried when I first established these beds. These were both put in at the same time, and once again, this side is struggling. Has a lot more bare soil than I would really like. I've had trouble establishing stuff. You can see there's currant in there. I have honeyberries in here, right where Clover is with that yellow tag, a salvia, another honeyberry in the back, cherry tree. And so it's not empty, but it's nowhere near as lush and dense as this area right here. So, and I think that can be attributed to some of the strategies that I used here and chose to go a different route here, which maybe wasn't so good, but it's a learning opportunity, if nothing else. And I still, nothing died, so we can still fix this and make this much more like this, which I think is worth doing. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I hope that my mistakes in this area and successes in this area can help guide you guys when you're putting in plants of your own and designing your own space. So yeah, thanks, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.